Good morning. It is time for another episode of Fridays with Frank. I'm Scott Collin, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report. Great to be with you this morning. Before I bring out Frank, don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and now please welcome Frank Cannata, our founder. Hey, Frank, how you doing? And what's on your mind this morning?
Hey Scott, how are you? Nice to see you. Everything is going okay. And I'm just kind of in a different mode today, if you will, because it's not something we ordinarily do. And first of all, this is not meant as a slight against anyone else expressing their opinions. They're entitled to their opinions. That's the way the world works. And we're very happy to listen to other people's opinions. And what leads me to this point is we were at a meeting, uh, and there was a speaker. One of the speakers got up and was talking about the industry in a broad and general way. No backup statistics, nothing like that, just speaking generally. And we've done that a million times, so there's nothing wrong with what he did. Where I have to separate is that there were a lot of dealers sitting in that room, and there was some expressed that what he was saying was valid. And I questioned it. So let me tell you what troubled me. One of the statements he made was that Canon was not diversified. To say that Canon is not diversified would be somebody not fully aware of what that company does. They have an extremely healthy, viable healthcare business. They got into the healthcare business years ago when they acquired that business from Toshiba, and it is very, very profitable. They're using their camera technology to engage outer space, which is a whole other area that they're exploring and working in, and currently providing camera technology for the satellites. So now we have two areas that have nothing to do with copiers by a company who is very cognizant of the fact that you need to be diversified in this world if you want to succeed. And I don't care at what level, whether you're a manufacturer, whether you're a dealer, or whatever. So those were two of the main points that he made about Canon. And then he talked about Kyocera. The first thing he said that I thought was absolutely valid. This is one of the most fiscally responsible companies in the business. I could not concur more. And I don't know if maybe that term fiscally responsible, fiscally cognizant, very much aware of the the way I would phrase it, very, very concentrated on profitability. If there's one manufacturer, this is my opinion, that I feel I can say with a great deal of comfort is that I don't think any manufacturer we know is as preoccupied or as committed to profitability as Kyocera. For years, they've been the manufacturer with the highest cash position in the industry. Going back to the pre-pandemic days, when their total sales was like 15 billion or something like that, they had eight and a half billion in reserve, in cash. Canon, who was, I think at that time, at least easily twice that plus, had about the same amount. I think they were up, if I'm going back a few years, so forgive me. They were up there around 50. And they had the same level that, what I could tell you with an absolute degree of certainty, that Kyocera had in cash on hand with a fraction of the size that Canon had. So yes, we can say those things. So what's the importance of this? The importance of it is when you hear someone speak about manufacturers, dealers, and quoting performances, areas, you do some research. If you feel that what the person said is of significant value, that information is of significant value to you, then you need to go further. If it's not, if you say, fine, that's his opinion, it's not something that you're going to use in any way, or is it going to infect or affect how you think about the business or any degree of change, then forget about it. But I think it's important that you understand that listening to people, whether, and again, I do enough talking at many different forums. And look, I gladly say it is my opinion. Anyone has a diverse opinion, I'm happy to listen to it. But there are times when you need hard facts. And I'm going to recommend that there's Mike Stramaglio, through his Mike Stramaglio Consulting, is putting out this newsletter called Domo. And it gives you the latest financial news about each of the manufacturers. It's an outstanding publication to keep you current. And the most valuable time, as you know, most of the manufacturers, I think Canon is about the only one in our industry that does a year end in December, closes out their business on March 31st. And Domo puts out this newsletter that's fantastic because it shows how everybody did financially and where the revenue was coming from. And so I know Mike is going to be very happy that I'm plugging his new, and of course, Hiro Ueda, who is his right hand and left hand sometimes too, really does a great job of bringing the information. And now, please be aware that Mike and Hiro have a very strong contact in Japan. They have somebody that Hiro has known for years who's in the business, just like we are, turning out a report for the Japanese industry in Japan. So they have a first-class journalist in that area that covers the market well and get their information from, because on the financial side, that is all published, available information from Japan. And of course, Hiro's ability is he translates it. So those are the two aspects that I really want to get home with today. And certainly, as far as dealer performances are concerned, I honestly believe our survey does a great justice to the industry by what we do. I don't want to take bows, although Scott is smiling as we speak and shaking his head and agreeing with me. When you ask the same questions, or relatively the same questions, to the same audience every year, and we've done it now 39 years, we have a pretty good understanding of what the industry is preoccupied with, what it's doing, what it's not doing. So between Domo newsletter and the Cannata Report, you got it both ways. So we hope that is something that you think is of value to you. And if not, we'll keep trying. Thank you, Scott.